Let's talk about the tool's DC error capability. So I've set up a signal chain here, and I'm in the tool's DC error view. The first thing that you want to do when you're doing DC error is tell the tool what your temperature range is. So let's say you needed to go up to 85 degrees C, and you weren't going to go cold, so we'll just leave that here at 20. So you set your temperature range, and the other thing that you want to do is you want to change your calibration. So we'll go into the settings area and tell the tool what calibration you're doing. So maybe you're not doing any calibration, maybe you're calibrating out offset, or maybe you're doing a 2-point cal and calibrating out offset and gain. So let's say we're calibrating out offset. You can also tell the tool where you are doing that calibration and how much uncertainty that you have. While we're in this menu, you can tell the tool I want to refer to input, or I want to refer to my ADC either in terms of volts at the ADC's input or in terms of LSBs at the ADC's output. You can also tell the tool whether you want to root some square everything. That's what most people want to do, but some people like to do a total worst case, and so you can just linearly add things too. If you have questions on any of these things, we do put a bunch of these blue question marks to give you help information. So here's help information here. So let's say we're happy with this 1-point offset. So there's also help information here next to the view. Okay, so we've put in our temperature, we've set our calibration, and now we see that here's our offset error, 167 microvolts. Here is our gain error, about 0.5%. And let's say we want a better gain error than 0.5%. So we can look at our graphs. We can see that the amplifier 1 stage is the big contributor in terms of that error. So we can go to this amplifier 1 stage, open it up, and look at its DC error performance. So here we see this 0.5%. And below are the top contributors to that error. We can see that R2 and R1 are the top contributors. When we are in the DC error screen, we're going to get these little percents over here next to our resistors. Let me show you, like in a normal screen, we don't have those. But when you're in DC error where it matters, then you'll see these, and you can actually go in and say, hey, I'm going to spend a little bit more money, and I'm going to use a 0.1% resistor with, say, 10 ppm per degree C. And let's say we do the same thing with R1. And now we've improved our gain error considerably. So that's how you go through and improve things if you need to. So this is the summary screen telling you the main contributors. You can also go to this all errors table, and this will be the full breakdown of every single error that we are calculating. So the way that we've done it is we have this column, which is the spec value, so what you're getting from the data sheet. And then we have a sensitivity column that determines how much that sensitivity affects, how much that spec value affects the circuit. And you'll notice that for offset here, or for bias current, we don't have a sensitivity. So what's happening? Why are we saying that the offset doesn't matter? Well, the reason we're saying offset doesn't matter is because in that calibration, we said let's calibrate out offset, and so it doesn't matter. So let's go back to none so we can see. And so here is the sensitivity. So we're referring things to input, and so the 60 microvolts at the input of our circuit is a sensitivity of 1, and so it's 60 microvolts there. Offset drift, for example, because we're going from 25 degrees C. So when we're doing no cal, we assume what we have in the data sheets, which is typically a calibration temperature of 25 degrees C. And so 25 to 85 is 60, and so that's where this 60 comes from. So you can go down the line and see where the various things come from. This bias current probably is a combination of the bias current through these resistors as well as the bias current through your previous stage. So that's going to determine some sort of sensitivity as well. And so to figure out the total error, you just multiply the spec by the sensitivity, and that's going to give you your final error. The unique thing about DC error compared to our other simulations is that it depends on so many different specifications. So we give you those specifications in this spec column here. But even for the same type of error source, different data sheets may specify it in different ways. So for example, one data sheet may say, here is your offset drift in something per degree C, and another data sheet may say your max offset at 125 degrees C is such and such. And so we have to transform those different ways that the data sheet say something is spec'd into a standard method. And so when we do that, we give you this information in this little help box here. So for example, here, this 1 microvolts per degree C is the drift that is at 125 degrees C. So we're just using that straight from the data sheet versus this bias current drift. This number is not in the data sheet. Instead, what the data sheet gave us is 10 nanoamps at 125 degrees C. And then here are the details on how we calculated that. So with DC error, sometimes you have to make assumptions. And so we try to be transparent with the assumptions and calculations that we're doing here. Something else that's interesting is occasionally a part will not have a spec. And let me pull up a part that has that issue. So here's an example. So this 808038 does not have offset current or offset current drift specs. And so when that happens, we're going to make a estimate for you, and we'll show a little yellow triangle here, and then we'll tell you how we came up with that estimate so that you can at least know in the ballpark what we came up with here. So that is the details on the all errors table. We also have this plot that shows you how the error changes with the input voltage. So this dark blue is what's caused by the constant offset, and the slope is caused by the gain errors. This input range is determined by the input range view. So you can see here is this number, so this is what's going to set that x-axis here. So if we don't have that input range, so if there's some sort of error in driving the part or something, then you also will not have this plot. Okay, so that is from the stage view. Here is from the main view. It looks like I changed that amplifier and we drastically changed our offset error, so that's probably not the best amplifier to choose for this. We can go back and go back to our original there. But here is how it looks from the main view, where you can see the error from each of these stages. So that was DC error.